that you guys didn't see. However, in the moment that I was acting to protect the situation, protect my brother from further harm.
Nobody expected the calmest woman in the room to be the one holding the biggest truth. For years, viewers of Love and Marriage Huntsville saw Kimmi Scott as the voice of reason. She wasn't loud, she didn't chase drama, she didn't throw shade just to stay relevant. She was the steady one, the woman who spoke softly but always seemed to know exactly what she was saying. And beside her stood Maurice Scott, the composed attorney, the man who looked like he had everything under control. On the surface, they were that couple, the balanced one, the mature one, the example. But what nobody saw coming was that behind those calm smiles and measured words, a secret had been growing, quietly, slowly, patiently. And when it finally came out, it didn't just shake their marriage, it shook fans, friends, and everyone who believed their love was unbreakable. Because when Kimmi finally spoke, she didn't whisper, she exposed the truth. And once the truth was out, nothing could be put back the way it was. From the beginning, Kimmi's story had always been one of resilience. Before reality TV cameras ever showed up, she was already a woman who had fought through real life. She was a nurse, a mother, someone who understood sacrifice. She knew what it meant to put others first, to carry responsibilities quietly, and to keep moving even when life got heavy.
Saying that this is all the reason, but True T has really done an amazing thing for Miss Black Titanic, and I appreciate that. And it's always good to see creators supporting other creators. But child, y'all go over there and listen to this, because this right here is the clown of the year, baby.
When she met Maurice, it felt like a fresh chapter. He was ambitious, driven, confident. Their connection didn't look flashy, but it looked solid. They weren't about grand gestures or dramatic displays. Their relationship felt grown, built on respect, shared goals, and understanding. That's why fans rooted for them. While other couples on the show faced explosive arguments and public meltdowns, Kimmi and Maurice seemed grounded. They handled disagreements calmly. They spoke like partners, not enemies. And when Kimmi faced health challenges, Maurice appeared supportive, present, and protective. Their bond looked like something that could survive storms. But here's the thing about storms. Sometimes they don't arrive with thunder. Sometimes they creep in quietly. At first, nothing seemed obviously wrong. Maurice had always been busy. Between his legal work, business ventures, and filming commitments, long days were normal. Late nights weren't new. Phone calls at odd hours could always be explained away by work. And Kimmi trusted him. That's who she was. Loyal, understanding, not the type to jump to conclusions or snoop through phones. She believed in communication. She believed in giving grace. She believed that love meant trust. But slowly, small things started to feel off. Conversations that used to be easy became shorter. Maurice's energy at home shifted. He seemed distracted, like his mind was somewhere else even when he was sitting right there. He laughed less, shared less. His phone was suddenly always face down, always within reach. Kimmi didn't want to assume the worst. You know how it goes when you love someone. You tell yourself they're stressed. You tell yourself work must be overwhelming. You convince yourself that distance doesn't always mean betrayal. But deep down, that quiet voice started speaking, and it wouldn't go away.
Owes my family an apology. More so because a lot of times he'll have this perspective of it was a joke or I was trying to be funny, and it did not land at all.
What nobody expected was how the truth would come to light. It wasn't a dramatic movie moment. No screaming, no thrown glasses, no public meltdown. It started with something small, a message that didn't quite make sense, a tone that felt too familiar, words that didn't sound professional. Kimmi didn't react immediately. That's not her style. Instead, she watched. She paid attention to patterns, to timing, to behavior. She noticed how Maurice would leave the room to take calls, how his mood would shift after certain texts, how he seemed emotionally invested somewhere else. And once that realization begins, it's hard to stop it. Because when your intuition starts connecting the dots, everything suddenly feels louder. Eventually, curiosity turned into confirmation. The messages weren't innocent, they weren't harmless, they were personal, intimate, familiar in a way that crossed every line a marriage depends on. Maurice wasn't just distracted, he was involved. And the twist that hit hardest wasn't just that he'd been unfaithful, it was who he'd been unfaithful with. The woman wasn't a stranger, she wasn't someone far removed from their lives. She was connected, someone who had been around, someone who knew Kimmi, someone who had stood in spaces where trust was supposed to exist. That kind of betrayal doesn't just bruise, it cuts deep. Kimmi didn't explode. She didn't rush to confront him in rage. Instead, she did something far more powerful. She went quiet. And when a strong woman like Kimmi goes quiet, it usually means she's thinking, processing, deciding. She gathered clarity before emotion. She made sure she understood exactly what she was dealing with. She wasn't going to accuse blindly or act impulsively. She wanted truth, not chaos. And once she had it, she faced Maurice, not with screaming, but with calm. That calmness hit harder than anger ever could, because when someone confronts you without yelling, without theatrics, you can't hide behind drama. You have to face the reality of what you've done.
So, honey, and before you get on social media, TV, YouTube, talking about what you think you know, maybe reach out to the people that you're about to talk about and ask maybe if it's true or not. Because it can land you in trouble when you speak of people that's not true.
Maurice tried to explain. He tried to soften it, said it wasn't serious, said it didn't mean anything, said it was a mistake. But betrayal doesn't shrink just because someone calls it small, and Kimmi knew that. What nobody expected, though, was that she wouldn't hide it. For years, she'd protected their marriage publicly. She'd chosen dignity over exposure. She'd handled struggles privately. But this time felt different. This time, silence felt like protecting a lie, and Kimmi wasn't willing to do that anymore. When she finally spoke about it, she didn't do it out of revenge. She did it from a place of truth. She didn't attack Maurice. She didn't drag the other woman. She simply told her story. Calmly. Honestly. And that honesty shook everyone. Fans were stunned because Kimmi had always been seen as the strong, unshakable one. The idea that she'd been dealing with this behind the scenes felt heartbreaking. People realized that even the calmest marriages can hide painful realities.
I'm saying nobody knows what I did when I left, and nobody knows what he did when he left. It's speculation.
Social media lit up immediately. Support poured in. Viewers praised her strength, her composure, and her refusal to let betrayal define her. Maurice, meanwhile, found himself facing scrutiny he wasn't prepared for. The man who once carried himself as grounded and logical was now being questioned publicly. People weren't just discussing the affair, they were discussing trust, accountability, and the difference between public image and private truth. But beyond the headlines and online debates, there was still a woman dealing with real emotions. Because betrayal doesn't stop hurting just because you handle it gracefully. Behind the strength, there was still disappointment, still sadness, still the heavy realization that the person you trusted most had broken something that can't easily be repaired. Kimmi had invested years into their life together. She'd supported his growth, stood by him during challenges, built a family and a future beside him. And now she had to figure out what that future looked like with the truth exposed. That kind of emotional crossroads changes a person. It forces you to reevaluate everything, not just the relationship, but your own identity within it, your boundaries, your expectations, your definition of love. For Kimmi, the aftermath wasn't about revenge. It was about clarity. She focused on healing, on protecting her peace, and on deciding what she deserved moving forward. She didn't rush to make big declarations about their marriage. She didn't turn her pain into a spectacle. Instead, she showed something even more powerful than anger. She showed self-respect. And that's what made her story resonate so deeply. Because people saw themselves in her. They saw the quiet strength it takes to confront betrayal without losing yourself. They saw the courage it takes to speak truth when silence would be easier. In the end, this wasn't just another reality TV scandal. It became a story about trust, dignity, and the moment a woman decides she will no longer protect someone else's mistakes at the expense of her own peace. Maurice's choices forced a reckoning, not just in their marriage, but in how people viewed relationships built in the public eye. It reminded everyone that even couples who look stable can be carrying private struggles. And Kimmi's response reminded viewers that strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes strength looks like calm honesty. Sometimes it looks like walking forward with your head high, even when your heart feels heavy. Sometimes it looks like telling the truth and letting it set you free. Because once secrets come into the light, they lose their power. And the woman who stands in her truth, she may feel the pain, but she never loses her dignity. If you were in Kimmi's position, would you have exposed the truth publicly or handled it quietly behind closed doors?